Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us for this morning's webinar. This morning's webinar is entitled Bridging the Gap Between DBE Compliance and Implementation for Local Governments. I'm Dave Tovar. I work for the Texas Department of Transportation in the Civil Rights Division, and I'm happy to be presenting today's webinar with you along with my coworker, Mary Wells. Today's webinar covers DBE program responsibilities for local governments. I'd like to add that this morning's webinar is being recorded and will be made available to you next week, along with a couple other documents to include a compliance and monitoring guide and also the PowerPoint presentation. So each of you will be receiving an email by next Friday with the recording, with a guide, and also the PowerPoint presentation slides. I also want to add that following our webinar, we're going to send you a survey, and we ask that you please take the time to complete the survey because we'd like to get your feedback on today's presentation. Now, during today's webinar, we encourage you to submit some questions. There is a chat box, so submit your questions, and Mary and I will be happy to answer the questions, time permitting, at the end of the webinar. So, let's get started. I want to share with you a very interesting statistic that I read regarding federal funding and local governments. Did you know that in fiscal year 2016, TxDOT provided oversight to approximately 650 projects with subrecipients, with total funding of $3.75 billion, including approximately $1.9 billion in federal funds. So when I read this, I thought this is very important because TxDOT, along with local government agencies, have the responsibility of administering their programs to ensure that federal requirements are being met. And this also includes the DBE program responsibilities.